Hey, today is all about anti-aging treatments for the neck and décolletage. I have got so many different products here and we're going to get into this. I'm going to let some people start joining on. Hello. Yes, today is an exciting live, at least for me, because this is my trouble area. So we are going to be working on that today. It is all about various treatments for a younger looking neck and décolletage. So I'm going to let you guys come in, but while we're doing that, I just want to announce the winner of the giveaway from last week. And last week was the Perfect Derma face wash along with the sunscreen and also a hyaluronic peptide serum, which I don't think I have with me. I'm traveling, so I'm actually doing this live from Oahu. I had a spur-of-the-moment business trip with my husband, and whenever you have a spur-of-the-moment trip to Hawaii, even if it's just for a few days, say yes. I mean, why not? So the winner from last week was, I don't even know how to say this handle, but it's Esta Rivera. I think that's it. So I will reach out to you and get your mailing address and get those products in the mail. But today is all about anti-aging treatments for the neck and the chest. So I'm going to get right in here. You can see right now, and just so you guys know, my phone is propped up on an ironing board in a hotel room. So we're going to see if this is going to be, hi Kasha, hello. I hope you guys are wanting to know anti-aging treatments for the neck and chest. Even those of you, I'm almost 55, but even those of you who are in your 20s, because I know Kasha's in her 20s. By the way, you guys should follow her. She's an amazing dancer. But for those of you that are even in your 20s, that you got to start now. I mean, I started with all of this anti-aging stuff. I mean, I want to say since I came out of the womb. That might be a little exaggeration, but for as long as I can remember. I bought my first wrinkle cream when I was 15 years old, so I've always been super interested in the process of aging, right? And how do you look and feel your best at every age and every stage of life? And our skin is our largest organ. So although I'm a gerontologist and I'm a healthy aging coach and a nutritionist, your skin is your largest organ. So you can tell a lot about a person's health by the health of their skin. So not only do I work with people one-on-one to improve their optimal health and increase that health span and have your skin shine from within, because a truly healthy person, your skin is going to shine from within. But because we're dealing with the largest organ, we hit it on the outside too. So it's anti-aging from the inside out and the outside in. So if you notice, I have this silicone patch on. So this is my first type of treatment that I love for anti-aging the chest, because I am a side sleeper. So I've done everything imaginable to try to learn to sleep on my back. And I get there for about 2 hours, and then after that, I'm on my side. So these chest wrinkles, all of you side sleepers out there, eventually what's going to happen is those are going to become permanent. These vertical lines are going to become permanent if you're a side sleeper. So sleeping with one of these silicone chest patches, this one is by, I don't know if I'm awful with, foreign language and stuff, but I think this is by Silsior. This is my favorite because they stick on the most. So this has a really adhesive back, and I have just found that I get the most use out of this brand. I'm not a brand ambassador for anybody, but I do get the most use out of this brand. And so I slept with this all night, which I normally do. And then there's also neck silicone pads. Now the way that these work, if you followed me on any of my social media stuff, and you'll see that I did a whole video on my YouTube channel on silicone pads. So the way that these work, so this is a neck pad, the way that these work is that they block any oxygen and any moisture from the air getting onto your skin surface. And so what that does is it creates this perfect barrier to call on the moisture from within to come to the surface and plump up those fine lines and wrinkles. So you want to make sure that you're wearing this for at least an hour. But in terms of the chest pad, I actually sleep with this on. So that's our first kind of line of defense. This one by Wrinkle Schminkles, this is a forehead patch. Just remember, you don't necessarily have to buy the patch, specifically for that area, as long as it's medical grade. Hi. I'm just seeing these familiar faces on here, and it's so nice to see those that continue to come back. This is a forehead patch by Wrinkle Schminkles. Look at how similar in shape it is to the neck patch. So you don't necessarily have to use the exact one, right? This one would be a good one for my neck as well. So silicone patches, if you missed that YouTube video, I highly suggest that you see that. You can click on my linked tree, not now, but click on my linked tree and you'll go down to my YouTube video. There's over like 140 videos. Kasha is losing service, but she needs to try these. Amazing. Okay, so this is like non-invasive. This is just an easy fix, preventative. Hi, I am Skin Girl. This is preventative, especially if you're a side sleeper. So last week's winner, because I can see people starting to tag people, so you guys know what is up. Every week I give shit away. If people are sending me stuff, if companies are sending me stuff, I'm going to just send that over to you. I'm trying to get away from affiliate marketing and get more into the teaching and the coaching. So this week we have 2 different things I'm giving away. One is this pumpkin ginger detoxifying charcoal mask. And then I'm also giving away a 1-hour service of me. So, things that I share with you here, these are very generalized. They work for most skin types. And if they don't, I will tell you which skin type it works for. But for me to get in and really work with somebody one-on-one, that is where I find my passion. See what you're doing, see what your needs are, whether it's weight loss, it's skincare, nutrition, meal planning, exercise tips. I've spent a lot of time on my education, and so I do have a lot to share, and to get in there one-on-one with somebody is my favorite thing to do. So if you see that little send button right down there, bottom right corner of your screen, invite 3 people right now. You'll automatically be in the drawing for a 1-hour session worth $249. We can get a lot done in an hour though, I'm telling you. And then I write you a prescription. So I literally list out skincare or treatments that I feel that we've talked about that you would, that you're interested in, as well as anything with diet, weight loss, fitness, anything to expand that health span. So this week you have to invite the 3 people. It goes in the drawing for the charcoal mask, as well as a 1-hour one-on-one coaching session through Zoom worth $249. So make sure you tag your 3 people, and then when I post it to my regular feed, tag 3 more people and you will instantly be in the drawing. The winner for last week, I'm going to butcher this name, I know, Esta.Rivera. I will contact you and get your email address. You just won the Perfect Derma skincare, the Perfect Cleanser, the Factor 30 SPF Mineral Sunscreen, and the Hyaluronic Peptide Serum. Come on. Okay, so moving on, we've just talked about the silicone patches. I sleep with this on, so whatever comes off, that's kind of like my skin. I also have a spray tan on, so that might be that. But you just simply put these back on their little shield. This will work, right? And you use it for the next night. They'll usually last, I want to say, I can use mine for like 2 weeks. And then when they start losing their stickiness, you just simply put them under a little bit of water, a little bit of soap, mild soap. Don't use your fingertips. And take all that skin cells and all of that moisture off, hang them to dry. Once they're dry, put them back on here. So make sure you check out that video on my YouTube channel. It's in the link tree below. Got 140 videos up there. So hope you guys check that out. Okay, moving on. We're going on to red light therapy. You guys have seen me talk about this before. This is the Lumo by EvenSkyn. Oh my God, this thing is powerful and effective. I use this. I started at once a week. Now I'm at once every 2 weeks. So I do this every Sunday, and I'll usually pick another day. So we're going to get right into this. I'm using a little bit of hyaluronic acid. I also do have, I have a 70 Wellness Conductive Gel. I'm going to use that. So when you're doing things like this, microcurrent, which we're also going to do, or radio frequency, and microneedling, we're going to do microneedling as well. So for all of you guys who have seen my microneedling tutorial on YouTube, I hope that has taken out some of the fear of using these kind of devices, because a lot of people get these in the mail and then they're too afraid to use them. That's what I do one-on-one with you. We will literally go through treatments together, side by side, through the computer, and we'll make sure that you understand how these devices work and that you're actually utilizing them, because the best anti-aging tool that you can possibly buy is the one you're going to use. Do not let it collect dust, okay? Total waste of money. And part of what I do here is help you save money. I don't want you wasting your money on all of the ineffective, overpriced anti-aging skincare products that you are bombarded with, okay? So that's not what we're doing. We want to make sure that what we're using is effective and it's tailored to you. So I'm going to get right in here. I'm going to start with just a regular radio frequency. So remember, radio frequency, this is non-ablative, and when I'm doing multiple treatments like this, it's super important that I'm not, damaging my skin by creating microtraumas and then doing other things on top of them. You have to be strategic in the way that you're doing this. So I just started with the silicone patch. I do want to say this. Last night, if you missed my Instagram live from last week, it was all about chemical peels. And I briefly talked about the sensitivity that happens with your neck and your décolletage as you age. And so finding the right chemical peel for that paused. Okay, I'm in a hotel, so I hope that my signal is going to stay strong. So I'm on hotel Wi-Fi. And so just in case something, cuts out, I'll be back on. But finding the right chemical peel for your neck and décolletage is super, super important. So this is what I used last night. So we're going to just start from like the beginning to the very end of everything you can do for your neck, and in the order that it kind of should be done if you're going to do multiple treatments over the period of 1 or 2 days. So we started with this little peel. This is by Sunday Riley. This is called Good Genes. This is a lactic acid. So if you remember from last week, the lactic acid is still in the AHAs, but it's a slightly bigger molecule and it's not as irritating as like a glycolic acid. So this is still anti-aging, but what I had to do with this, because my neck was so sensitive, is I put this on my neck, I waited 15 minutes, and then I washed it off. I left it on my décolletage because my décolletage is a little thicker skin, and so I left it on my décolletage so that this sat all night. I let it soak in, let it get dry, then I put that silicone pad. So when you're looking for a chemical peel for your neck and your chest, which is very different skin than your face, you're going to want something that's a little bit less, a bigger molecule, penetrates a little bit more shallow, so it's less deep, and you're going to have a lot less irritation and still get great results. So you have to go between a lactic acid and a mandelic acid. So a mandelic acid has the biggest molecule, still in the AHA family, so still anti-aging, normal to combination skin. And so this is by the Ink Keyless. This is mandelic acid treatment for face and neck for normal skin, reduces hyperpigmentation, discoloration. It's all anti-aging. So fine lines and wrinkles, the horizontal lines, the crepey skin, all of that. Chemical peels help treat that, but you want to have a bigger molecule, so a lactic acid or a mandelic acid. The Ordinary also makes a mandelic acid serum that's I want to say it literally says mandelic acid, and I think it's a 10% AHA, but it's made for sensitive skin for the neck and the chest. So make sure that you check that out. And The Ordinary in general is a great company because it makes effective skincare at a very reasonable price. I think I want to say that peel is less than $10. I mean, come on. So this is what I used last night. This is by Sunday Riley, Good Genes. This is a lactic acid. So I used it for 15 minutes on my neck, rinsed it off, and left it on my décolletage to kind of dry. And then I put on the silicone patches. So make sure you check out that YouTube video. And now we are on to radio frequency. So if you haven't tagged your 3 people or invited your 3 people, invite them now. You'll go in the drawing for the charcoal mask and an hour-long one-on-one coaching session. So we're going to just goop this up. This is a hyaluronic acid. I mixed it with a little bit of conductive gel. Just remember, when you need something that has a conductive gel, you don't want anything with oil. So you can use just a general kind of hyaluronic acid. Mine that I love is the Costa Baja because it's a pure kind of hyaluronic acid and it's not that expensive. You can get that on Amazon. And if you click on my link tree when you're done, you'll see the little Amazon icon, and most of the products that I use are in that store. So we're going to do a little bit of RF here. On the RF setting, I'm going to keep it a little bit high. So I turn that all the way all the way up, and we're just going to keep this moving, and I will feel this kind of heating up. So we're just going to do the neck and décolletage today, and I'm just going to do multiple treatments, one on top of the other. So with the radio frequency, it's heating the dermis. And so it's non-ablative. There's no downtime with this, but it's heating the dermis and it's tightening that skin. So I'll feel this kind of heat up, which is stimulating collagen and elastin, and it's helping with everything from fine lines and wrinkles to skin tightening, skin tone and texture. There's a lot going on with this RF machine. You want to make sure that you stay away from your thyroid. So you can come down here, but you don't want to be up here because it will affect your thyroid. The only treatments that with these devices that are fine with your thyroid or the red light therapy, they actually help with thyroid. So I'm getting right under here, under this chin. I want to make sure that I'm getting a good treatment there. And this will automatically shut off when the time is done, but I might not let it get do that whole time just because for sake of just trying to get all these treatments in. Oh my God, that's so nice. Somebody's watching from Norway. Yay. Okay, I want to see, does anybody have any, oh yes. Romanian Girl 10, does red light therapy worsen melasma? No, it actually helps to treat melasma, but I do want to say if you're doing like these at-home ones, which we're going to get to, I'm going to do this red light therapy neck and décolletage mask after I do the microneedling. So I want to, this also helps with healing. It speeds up healing. So this is the one thing that you can do after I ablate my skin, which means I'm gonna create trauma that's going to disrupt that skin barrier a little bit by creating the micro traumas with this Dr. Pen M8. Once I do that, in order to heal the skin faster, I'm gonna put on a red light therapy mask. So remember that red light therapy, it has to be the right wavelength, or else you're just shining a red light on something. So the effective wavelength for any of these red light therapy devices is between 630 and 850 nanometers. And that's a combination of red and near infrared. So I use this, I'm not kidding, daily. I say daily, but that usually lands about 5 days a week. But 5 days a week, when I wake up, I'm putting this thing on my neck and my décolletage because, you know why? Because it works. It really does work. So that is fine lines and wrinkles. I mean, all of these. when we're talking anti-aging, you're talking about skin elasticity, you're talking about fine lines and wrinkles, skin tone and texture, melasma, all those discolorations. But no, red light therapy is supposed to actually help that. And in fact, I had kind of like a modeling of the skin. I don't know how else to explain it other than I had a slight circulation problem, and I was doing the red light therapy bed and those, the big panels, and it really increased my circulation and helped with that. But it is supposed to help with melasma as well. Okay, we're going to move on to here. I'm going to go on to the EMS and photon mode. So this is going to electric muscle stimulation. So we might see some twitching here, which is always fun. And it still uses a conductive gel, so I need to make sure that I have this piled on. Are there any other questions? Let me just scroll. Gosh, I'm like, if you saw how my phone was balanced on this ironing board, I'm almost afraid to scroll for questions because I might just knock this whole contraption over. Okay, can the Lumo be used on the breasts? It can. I'm gonna do it right now. Okay. So, I gotta make sure I got enough conductive gel on here. This is super important. With any of these, with the microcurrent, with radio frequency, you need to make sure that you've got, and my skin's gonna get some pinkness to it, but I assure you, if I didn't do the microneedling, this pinkness would be gone within a half hour. So right now I'm on RF, but I'm also on the EMS mode and photon. So you'll see the red and blue light, and this is like electric muscle stimulation. So you can do this on the breast. Remember, this is not going that deep. This is an at-home device, but I want to say in terms of RF, this is the most powerful at-home RF device I've ever used. It does, here we go. It does become a little painful and a little a little twitchy when you get those nerves, but it is very, very effective. Very effective. Okay, so I'm going to get right under here. Now, if I were to do my whole face, you'd see the little twitching of different things in this mode. It's harder to see. It's harder to see when I'm doing it on my neck, but my shoulder is twitching like crazy. So I'm going to do this for a little bit. Let's see. Hey, homegirl, are you going to try Contact China? Okay. I do get devices sent all the time, not from China, but from Korea, which, as you guys know, make like the best. They're way ahead of us in terms of at-home devices. Let me see if there's anything else. Make sure you guys, if you're just joining, that you tag your 3 people. It's best to use that little arrow down there. You'll see the send arrow. Invite your 3 people here, and you will go into that drawing. Last week's winner was Esta.Rivera, and I will contact you, or you can contact me and give me your mailing address, and I will send that Perfect Derma face wash and the sunscreen and the hyaluronic peptide. So I'm getting a lot of twitching in here, but this is, again, it's heating up the dermis with the radio frequency. And then the muscle stimulation is really kind of training those muscles to go, to lift and to tighten. So I'm going to just stop here. Let me see. I can do a cool down mode. So this cool down mode sometimes will take a little bit of that redness away. So let me figure out what I'm doing next. Next I'm going to do the Myolift Mini, and I'm going to do some microcurrent on these horizontal lines around my neck and also on my chest. So this is a great device. I know you guys have heard me talk about this before. So I'm going to put the Lumo away. We're done with the radio frequency. See, it's 9:28. I have to keep my eye on the time because, man, I'm very verbose and I can talk for a while here. And I have found out that with the Instagram Lives, if I go over the hour, it won't let me post automatically to my feed. I think that that's the reason. So I really need to keep it under an hour today. Okay, so I am going to be doing a level 2 And I'm going to do a level 2 erase. And let's set the time and run. Okay, so I'm going to do a level 2 erase. I'm going to have to keep my eye on the conductivity. I already have some hyaluronic conductive gel. I'm going to add a little bit more. And I'm going to be trying to attack these horizontal lines right here. You might wonder why the neck and décolletage ages at a much different rate than our face. And that's because, I mean, the skin is very thin on our neck. It's a different depth than on our face. But the reason is because we're moving our necks all the time. So anytime that you have a lot of movement, anytime you have a lot of movement, you know, we're moving our necks a lot. So this our necks lose collagen first. Our necks and like about down to here because we're constantly moving. When we move our face, we're moving it this way and we're moving it expression wise, right? So our eyes are constantly moving. You'll notice our skin is much thinner around our eyes. And sometimes when you're using skincare like retinoids, you'll see that you're getting more irritation around the mouth area. So around the mouth and around the eyes. The reason is because you're moving those body parts more. So you're losing collagen more. And those collagen is what thickens the skin and helps with all of, you know, helps with all the anti-aging stuff, fine lines and wrinkles, builds the skin up. And so when you're using products around your eyes and around the sensitive areas around your neck, you need to use different products than you do on your full face. So right now, I'm using this Myolift Mini, which is a microcurrent device. And I'm finding those horizontal lines. You can see them right here, these horizontal lines. And on the erase mode, I can hold a probe and I want to stay away from my thyroid, but I can hold a probe and pull these lines apart, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm relaxing these little lines around the neck. And I'm looking to make sure that I have conductivity. And I do. It's going to start blinking now, but you can see that solid line, so that I know that this is actually working, and I'm separating all of those little lines. I want to add a little bit more of this conductive gel. Oops, running out of the hyaluronic. So I'm going to add a little bit more of that, because if you don't have enough conductive gel, your conductivity is going to suffer. So you're not going to be getting a great treatment. So I'm going to just keep pulling these apart. So make sure that you invite your 3 people. And then when I post this to my regular feed, you tag 3 more people. And this week up for grabs is the pumpkin and ginger detoxifying charcoal mask. I've never used this before, but they did send me a couple of these. So I'm going to be using one, and the winner of this giveaway will also be winning this, and I'll give you a free hour of a one-on-one consultation. And we talk about everything from, I'm a healthy aging coach. So we talk about everything from what are you eating? How are you sleeping? What is your stress level? How can we rectify any of that? How is your movement? What type of movement are you doing at your age? Because that changes with age, just like skincare changes with age. Your type of movement changes with age. Your hormones change with age. There's a lot of things happening. And so when we work one-on-one, yes, we will get into all of these amazing treatments, but you'll also find that I'll say, how is your diet contributing to how young you're looking? How's your diet contributing to that? Because it starts with what you put in your body. So there's multiple layers to how do you look and feel your best at every age and every stage of life, and how do you expand that health span. So right now, this microcurrent is going through my skin and softening those lines, those horizontal lines that happen as we age. So let's see, I think I want to move down to the chest. So I get that my chest is a little bit red right now because there's been a lot going on, but I get these little lines that go like this, right? And so what we can do there is also in the erase mode. So I want to stay in the erase mode, and I'm just going to pull this apart. Pull this apart, right? So I usually try to do like three little passes on each part and then hold it for 3 seconds. So, and then hold it. And I'm checking, the reason why I'm looking down is because I'm looking to make sure that I have conductivity, which is why I love this machine so much, by the way. Because if you're just using like a new face or something that works on a 2-lobe system, like one of these is a 2-lobe system, you're only able to do a pinch and hold technique. You're not able to take the 2 probes and pull those wrinkles apart, right? So just like when we put on the silicone sheet, we're like pulling those apart. So when you sleep on your side and squish all of that together, you're not getting those lines. Now we're literally with microcurrent pulling those lines apart. And so this type of device, I want to say you could do this up to like 3 times a week. You start with 1, obviously, just like with the Lumo, start with 1, but you can go up to 3 times a week. So let me just finish up here. Okay, we're going to put this aside. That was our microcurrents. Remember, microcurrent fine. Oh, you know what? No, I apologize. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do the educate mode. Because there is something that I can do here. So on the educate mode, now is like the pinch and hold technique. So if I hold a probe here, like just at the bottom of my jaw, I can pinch this up and hold for 3, and pinch this up and hold, so that I'm lifting the neck, right? So this is lifting. When you're doing the erase mode, you're separating. Now we're going to lift to define that jawline and educate this to go to just lift this whole section up. So I'm going to do a couple more on this, and then we're going to move over to, are we moving to microneedling? I think I'm moving to microneedling. Okay, so this one's done. We'll move over to the microneedling. So I have the Dr. Pen M8. This, I swear to you, is like my secret weapon for eyelids, around the eyes. I mean, I do this, I want to say once a month, once every 6 weeks for my full face. The same thing with the neck and the décolletage. So about once every 6 weeks. Now we can't do it on the same level. I'm like really almost out of this hyaluronic acid. So I'm going to use this other conductive gel. Now, we're just looking for the slip here when you're doing microneedling. So microneedling, remember, we are creating microtraumas. And what happens when we create the microtraumas is that it signals our body to come to the rescue and to start making collagen. Just like when we were younger, when we would fall down and we'd skin our knee when we were younger, and our collagen would come to our collagen would be signaled by our body saying, come and make a scab, come and fix this. Well, when you hit your 20s, your collagen starts dipping by 1 to 3% every year. And then when you hit menopause, it really just kind of falls off of a cliff. So we have to trick our bodies into creating collagen. And when you create collagen and elastin, you're thickening up that skin and you're reducing all of the little fine lines and wrinkles. So I already took the cap off of this. This is the Dr. Pen M8. They make a lot of different ones, A6, M's. There's a lot of different ones. This one I've been using for years because I feel like it's a great machine. It's the right technology, and the improvements that they've made since this M8 have not, I think, justified the price. So I'm still on this one. I put in did I put in a nano? I put in a nano. God, I did the same thing last time. I have to throw my nanos away. We're going to do a nano, and then if I don't feel like I'm getting a good enough treatment, I'm going to switch to the 16 pen. So I'm at a nano, and I'm going to be, since I'm at a nano, I'm going to go all the way up. And I'm going to just use that hyaluronic acid as a slip to move the device around. So I'm creating microtraumas. Nope. I'm sorry, not going to work. I'm taking this nano out. I'm going to move to a 16 gauge. because I don't want to waste my time. And I don't feel like the Nano is really giving me any sort of great treatment. So I'm going to switch to the 16 gauge. I'm going to pop that on. The great thing about this machine is every time when you change your needles, they're sterile. So you have a sterile needle now. Now you can kind of see, I'm going to move this all the way up. You can kind of see those needles in there, right? So when I turn this on, come on, it's just going in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay, so normally if I would be doing something that was thicker, like the jowl area or the cheek area, I would be going up to like a 1.5, but this skin on our neck is super fragile. We cannot use the same kind of treatments on our neck and our décolletage as we can our face or the rest of our body. And that again is just because the skin is very thin because the collagen leaves this area quicker because we're just moving it all the time. Okay, so I'm going to turn this way down to about a point, let me see. I'm going to go down to like a 0.25. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Now I can feel it. I'm like, I couldn't even feel the Nano. So I'm going to hit these horizontal lines. A little bit more of this. Create a little bit bigger slip. And I'm going to turn it up a tiny bit. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is where I'm going to you'll see that I'm going to start getting super red. But there is no other treatment, I kid you not, that I've found at home that is as effective as microneedling. So we're creating those little traumas and we're thickening up the skin. And when you're dealing with your neck and your décolletage, that's what you're wanting to do. You want to take that fragile skin and thicken it up in a safe way. So we're creating micro traumas that will take, 7 days or so to heal. The downtime isn't that long, but it'll take about 7 days to heal. And in that time, collagen is being called to the rescue, right? Elastin is thickening there. So it's really quite an amazing treatment for your neck and your décolletage. Okay, I'm going to try as I'm doing this to scroll, but again, I am not at my house. I'm on a business trip with my husband in Oahu. Very, very short. I'm actually jumping on an airplane. I want to say in 2 hours, I have to leave for the airport. So my phone is balanced on an ironing board in a hotel room. So do I travel with all of this stuff? Not normally. Now, I don't normally travel with all of this, but I knew that I was doing the Instagram live on neck and décolletage, so I did bring as much as I could with me that I wanted to show you guys in terms of how to make your neck and your décolletage look younger. So that's it. I brought the Lumo radio frequency device, which we've already done. I brought my silicone patches, which honestly, I never leave home without these because I sleep with them every single night. And I brought my Myolift Mini, the Microcurrent. And now I'm doing the Dr. Penn M8. Ooh, yeah, you can see it's getting pink here. And that means we're getting a good treatment. That's what you want to look for. You don't want to look for anything that's bleeding. We're not aiming to make the skin bleed. You might have a few droplets of blood mixed in with your hyaluronic, at the end by the time you finish this, but it's not something that can't be, within like a couple of hours. The pinkness for me anyways kind of goes away. So let me just keep going. If you guys have any questions about anything, I'm afraid to scroll, but see, I just kind of moved that. Cancel. See, it's hard for me to touch my thing right now because it's so balanced on this ironing board. I'm afraid to do it. Okay, if there's any suggestions for next week, I kind of wanted to talk about hands, but I'm open to any suggestions that you guys want to talk about on next week's live. Remember, I go live every Sunday the same time at 11 a.m. So if there's anything that you guys really want to learn about, I'm open to that. But so far, I think next week is going to be all about the hands. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do for hands, you know, in terms of skincare, in terms of microneedling. I haven't really done microcurrent on hands, but even in terms of fillers, you can get filler in your hands or fat transfers in your hands that will take all of these kind of veins away, and that boniness that happens because we lose collagen in our hands as well. And guess why those show our age more than any other part, including our neck, is because we're moving them all the time. We move our necks all the time. So that skin loses collagen quicker and becomes thinner and more prone to crepiness, to fine lines and wrinkles. So you gotta, you know, you can't just stop your skincare here. It goes everywhere, right? In fact, I'm gonna do a little bit of this microneedling on my chest, and then we will move on. I have to keep my eye on the clock. So just to recap, I want to recap for those who have just joined. Make sure that you invite your 3 friends. So if you look at that little arrow, the send button right down there, invite your 3 friends. That's your first step in going into the drawing. This week, I'm giving away a charcoal mask as well as a 1-hour one-on-one Zoom worth $249. So as I'm doing this treatment, I want to go ahead and just recap what we have talked about thus far. I started with a peel last night. Now this is by Sunday Riley. This is a lactic acid peel. Last week when I did the whole live on chemical peels, we learned that the lactic acid is still in an alpha hydroxy acid, but it's a slightly bigger molecule. So you can use this on your neck, test it out. I left this on my neck for 15 minutes and then rinsed it off, but then I reapplied on my chest and then left that all night. So you have to fool around with these, but this is a lactic acid. It's less irritable. It causes less irritation than like a glycolic acid, which is the typical AHA. And then you can also do a mandelic acid, which is an even bigger molecule, which is for sensitive skin and causes even less irritation. So if you were to do a chemical peel on your neck and chest, I would look for a lactic acid or a mandelic acid. Okay, and then after that, I talked about your silicone patches, which call on your body from deep within to give moisture to the surface. So it plumps up those fine lines and wrinkles. I sleep with this every single night. We then did a little bit of radio frequency with the Lumo, and I did a little bit of the muscle. Let me just turn this off real quick. Ooh, I can tell that I am getting a good treatment because I'm getting a little burning. But then we talked about this, the Lumo with the radio frequency. So radio frequency heats the dermis up. Oh my God, I can't even talk. Radio frequency heats the dermis up, and so that helps to plump up the skin, fine lines and wrinkles, discoloration, melasma. This is like a godsend. And then I did the electro muscle stimulation to lift all of that up and kind of define that jawline. And I also did it right on my décolletage to help soften those lines that happen as we age, you know. For women out there who are side sleepers, you know what I'm talking about. You'll get these lines that go like this. So the Lumo, the radio frequency of that, along with the electromuscle stimulation, is fantastic for that. And then I did the Myolift Mini, and I used this on 2 different modes. The 2 different modes that I used were, I used it on the erase mode to pull those wrinkles apart and soften them. And then you can also use this microcurrent on the educate mode to pinch and hold and really define and lift up this neck area. And now we have moved on to the Dr. Pen, and we're getting close to being done with this treatment. And then I've got one more treatment after that. Okay, so let me just continue on here. This microneedling is creating these micro traumas. And so what that does is it's signaling to your body, something just happened, come to the rescue and make collagen and increase elastin. And it also exfoliates a little bit. So this will get a little bit of, not peely, but there'll be a little bit of a disruption of that skin barrier, slightly, in that it will start to slough off the dead skin cells. So love this. And I think I'm going to stop right there because I am getting, you can tell, you see how pink I'm getting? Yeah, that's a good treatment. Now, I could go back over, I'm going to do it. Why not? We could go back over this horizontal line, which I don't like. And you can also use this in a stamp mode. So if you just see something, you're like, oh, let me just stamp on that. Those needles are going in and creating those micro traumas. So you don't have to do like a full treatment. You can just go over those horizontal lines. Well, now you're gonna really see my horizontal lines because they're gonna be a little bit more pronounced when I'm doing this treatment, specifically on top of them. Okay, so we're gonna put that aside. This, again, do not save these needles. These are not reusable. You click this off, you throw this away every time that you start a new treatment. I don't even know what my pack, every time you start a new treatment, you open up a new pack of needles. So I love that because it's actually very sterile. Another thing that you can do is use one of these micro stamps, these microneedling stamps. This is in my Amazon store. And instead of using a device like that, you're simply stamping. Hope you can see that. See those needles? Those are surgical needles. And you're stamping to create those micro traumas. So if this kind of device scares you, either book a one-on-one session with me and I'll walk you through it, or you can get one of these that is just a microneedling skin stamper. And so sometimes I'll just use this as well. Okay, so moving on. Now that I've created the trauma, this is what is great afterwards. So let me turn, something is beeping. Let me turn that off. So this is the Omnilux Contour. This is the neck and décolletage attachment. Again, like I was saying earlier, I try to use this daily, but it usually is about, I want to say 5 days a week. And this is going to help to, this really does help with discoloration, with just the overall look of your skin improves so much with red light therapy. And it's not just beauty. I know that a lot of people are on here for, how can you have younger looking skin? But this also increases circulation. This improves your skin on a cellular level by hitting that mitochondria and really energizing that ATP. So there's a lot happening with red light therapy that goes above and beyond just the surface. This actually does help with thyroid. And it does help fine lines and wrinkles and discoloration and melasma and all of that stuff. I love this because it's portable. So you take this off and charge the little handle, stick it back on, and now you can put this in your pocket and walk around with it. So I also have the face mask, but we're not talking about face, but I do travel with this whole contraption because it fits easily in a suitcase and so let me see if I can try to prop you guys up while this is going. I want to just scroll through and make sure that I didn't, God, am I even going to do this? Again, I'm on an ironing board, so I want to make sure. Yes, you can, so we went over that. Red light therapy does not worsen melasma. Again, you can always spot check something, if you're worried, if you are one that suffers from melasma, you can always spot check and do like a little section, cover your this whole part with a towel and do a little section and see. But that's not what the company says. The company says it actually helps with melasma. Let's see, anything else? So I'm losing service, but okay. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to see people that continue to come back. Make sure that you invite your 3 people. We're going to do this thing, and then I just want to talk to you briefly about your skincare creams. So you can't use the same creams on your face as you can on your neck, because again, this is more fragile. And for those young people on here, if you're like under 30 or under, or even 35 or under, you maybe have not started noticing that, because I used to use retinoids on my neck and my chest, and then all of a sudden I couldn't do that anymore. So you want to make sure that you're looking for something specifically for the neck. Perricone MD makes a couple of great products for the neck. This is the Cold Plasma plus neck and chest, and this has an SPF of 25. So if you're going to do all of these treatments, make sure that you're protecting your skin as well at the same time. This one is very pricey. This is by SkinCeuticals, but my God, this is a great brand. Their skincare, they do some really great things. This is a triple peptide R neck repair. Yeah. So it targets visible neck aging for firm and defined neck appearance. So this is something that I also use on my neck. But to be quite honest, I really just moisturize my neck. I do these type of treatments. I stay away from retinoids of the neck, and occasionally I do some lactic acid or some mandelic acid. And that is what I have found has made the biggest differences. So I'm about to jump off of here, you guys. Hello from Hawaii, from a very quick work trip that I did. I'm about to stop this live and start packing and jump back on a plane home. But I think next week I'm going to do hands. I might change my mind. So if you guys have any suggestions, please go ahead and put them in the comments now. And I will see you guys next Sunday at 11 a.m. Again, there's another giveaway. So once I post this to my feed, make sure you tag 3 people. And as always, it's been so fun having you guys all here. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye.